I don't know if there's some middle ground that these politicians and all these people that argue about could come to, because the post office has some serious disadvantages and has some serious advantages. Hello, everybody. Welcome back. Welcome back to Commonwealth Flipper. Welcome to the Commonwealth Cabin. We appreciate you joining us. Today's topic, the United States Post Office. And I've got 26 things headed out of here. Let's go take a look. All right, so I held off most of Q4 about talking about certain post office issues as it pertained to my business here, simply because I wanted to do a bigger video about it. And this is the video, and even delve into the political side of it and the privatization and all that. And I know that ruffles a bunch of people's feathers. So we'll try to at least explore the issue a little bit today and not really do anything to come to a conclusion or anything, just to really look at it and see if it's even feasible. Alpha Thermos, $12.95 plus shipping. And I kind of want to start this by getting your feedback on a few things. I posted some stuff a few weeks back on social media about the post office, and of course you'll get the typical complaints that you would anytime because the post office isn't perfect. And I have been highly critical, not of the post office in general, but specifically about a year and a half ago, I was dealing with a couple of issues with a few employees that simply just did not want to do their job. And I had to climb the ladder, and that person didn't want to, had to climb the ladder again before, hey, they started to do what they're supposed to do. And a lot of people took that as insulting to post office employees and stuff. Look, this isn't about post office employees, what we're talking about today. This is about the system. It's about whether it does need reforms. It's about, I guess we'll talk about privatization a little bit. That gets, people on both sides of the aisle get upset. That's not my intention at all. I learned quite a few things doing a little bit of research for this, and I'm interested to get your opinions on it and how well the post office performed for you this Q4. I had more issues this Q4 than any other Q4 save one, and you guys probably remember that one a few years back. That was a brutal one. But this one wasn't across the board this time. I've had issues with UPS and deliveries, and that's part of doing business, right? Nobody's going to be perfect. And I certainly don't want to be critical of postal employees who work their fingers to the bone for not a whole lot of money, and are doing it in the holiday season as well. So we're not going to do that for sure. But I want to get into that and just get feedback from you to see where you guys are at and what happened to you this Q4. For me, it's a few things that really cost me, not just money, but feedback as well. Turn the camera around here and get the Pepe Le Pew. Valentine's Day's not too far. I can't believe I just said that. Right here, a little Pepe Le Pew ladies man. What did this one sell for? $25, $35, something like that. Oh, $44 we got for that one. Pepe Le Pew really does sell well. What's the brand on that? It's just Warner Brothers. $44 plus shipping. I'm not one to jump, I hear the dogs out there, jump all over people and institutions for having an issue from time to time. I have issues from time to time. And so that's not what this is going to be about today. But I think that for me, this Q4, I had issues. I wrote them down over here as the Q4 was going on, and I'll just want to mention them really quick. This video is really going to be about kind of a macro sense, but this part is micro as it relates to me. And I know a lot of you out there have definitely have different stories, because I've already asked the question on social media across different platforms. Let's see, total of 5 items that were either lost completely or in limbo for more than 2 weeks. So when that's the case, you oftentimes have to deal with things with the buyer, and some of them are understanding, some of them are not. Sometimes you end up with a chart, you end up refunding the money, then it shows up, then you got to figure out a way to get the money back. That happened a couple times as well. Sometimes eBay steps in and helps you, sometimes they don't. But either way, it's a hassle. I think we all know that if we've been doing this a long time and do lots of volume, this stuff's bound to happen. This Q4, I did have those issues. One of them was delivered just within a day or so after me putting in the search thing, and I don't know if that got it moving or not. One got delivered quite a bit later, but I put that in as well. I had 3, let's see, I can't even read my own writing. I have 3 that are still out, lost or delayed, and one of them already has a refund on it. I have 1 that caused a negative feedback. Somebody sent me, now this one I don't put on the post office too much, right? This one, it was supposed to be delivered in, I think, 5 days max. I think it was a Ground Advantage package. And it was 7 days later. still hadn't arrived, and the person left me a negative feedback. Hey, I never got my item, or whatever. They weren't talking to me. They left the negative feedback. Now, I talked to that person, or maybe I should say I sent a message to that person after I saw the negative feedback and said, hey, you know, sometimes this happens and blah, blah, blah. And I literally went on to check the tracking, which I should have done first. It was delivered the day he left the feedback, so it was 7 days later. And, you know, I mean, come on, look. You can't expect perfection with massive volume around Christmas time. That's certainly a little bit, both on the buyer side and the seller side. And so after it got delivered, I said, hey, I see it got delivered today. Would you mind considering revising feedback? And they said, yeah, sure. And I sent the revision, and they never revised the feedback. By the time you see this video, I hope it's revised. If they haven't done it, then I'm hoping that eBay will step in, because it's in the message that they said they would revise it. When that's the case, eBay usually changes that for you. So I went back and I checked the messages over the last, I don't even know, 60 days or so for all the revisions, or not the revisions, for all the refund requests and everything, and just check the tracking. I send a lot of things out now, either UPS or FedEx. Actually, FedEx is becoming very, very competitive, and I haven't seen as many issues, and this is where I need your feedback. I gave up on FedEx a few years back. I'm like, these chargebacks and whatever, dealing with the hassles and everything, I said, forget this, I'm not doing it anymore. But man, their prices are so competitive and beat the post office ground advantage a lot of times. And I'm like, well, I'm just going to do this. And I started to ship them out. I said it on this channel. I said, this is going to be an experiment to see how they did. For me, they did very well. Not one lost package. I'm sending out almost everything that I can, even if it's a quarter cheaper on FedEx, and I did it through Q4 and did not have one lost package. I did have one issue, and it really was with the drop-off location as opposed to FedEx itself, but that's part of FedEx. So I did have one issue where an item didn't get picked up for 3 days. 2 of those were business days. Either that or it didn't get scanned in, and the person complained and whatever. I said, hey, just hold on a little bit and we'll see what we can do. And I had to do a little legwork, got it taken care of. I send very few out UPS, but for the ones I sent out UPS, I also had no issues. Now, keep in mind, just to be fair here, still over 50%, probably closer to 60% of my packages are sent out through the post office. So I would expect there to be a higher number of issues when you send out more items via a certain service. And the fact that I am sending it out USPS, it tells you that it's the cheapest route or the most secure route or whatever. In this case, it's the cheapest route. This is a Tennessee Volunteers beanie, $11. I pay $1. $11.89 plus shipping. All right, I'm not arrogant enough to think that my experiences are everybody's experiences. So time to put yours down below. What percentage of items do you send out via each service? I'm curious. And then after that, if you're willing to, how many issues did you have with each, let's say in Q4? I know I'm excited to hear about it. I know it seems like you wouldn't be excited to, but this is my gig. I like it. I like this kind of stuff. Boy, I need to be like 2 inches taller, I think. This Harry Gant hat is in terrible condition. I paid $1 for it because it had his autograph on it. And I'm like, I don't know. I may want this. And it had 4 pins on it, and the pins were good. I sold them separately. That was more of the issue. But I still put this hat out there, and it sold $12.95 plus shipping. Now, as many of you know, if you follow my store compared to these videos, and I said this in the last few videos, I was filming 4 and 5 videos a week. Q4 was really good for us, which makes sense because of this kind of stuff we sell. I'm sorry if it's not great for everybody out there, but we sell a lot of Q4 type items. And I shut my store down on the 18th. So if I couldn't get it shipped out the 18th, I didn't want to do it. I was having that many issues. Plus, I'd lie to you if that's the only reason I was doing it. The larger percentage of that reason was because I wanted to take some serious time off, and now we're back at it, so I'm excited. But my store was shut down for quite a while. And it made it a little easier because you get all that stuff coming in after the fact. You know, they always, you know, 'tis the season for returns, right? January. Let's hope not. I also had a few returns as well already before January started. So I did have that 3. I mentioned 1 in a previous video, and I got 2 more in the coming week, which isn't too bad. I'll take that. This is pretty low for a Q4 for me so far. Fingers crossed. We got to take a break from the post office for just 1 second because this is a cool story. At least I thought it was interesting. I was kind of validated. This was the Wii. Some of you may remember. See that issue there? Some of you may remember. I can't even get it open. Hold on. All right, I got it open, and I gave the dogs treats too. So I bought this at a yard sale along with 2 other systems. And I think he wanted, if you added up all the prices, somewhere between $450, $475, something like that for them. I offered $300 for all of them. And I got slammed from both directions in the comments of that Commonwealth picker video. It was, and I expected it, but it was a little bit more forceful on both sides than I thought. Some people on one side of it were like, you know, you're such a ripoff and give the guy what he's asking and whatever. I'm like, you're not a reseller. And then some resellers like, I can't believe you paid that much. That was a dumb decision and whatever. And I'm like, what did I miss here? What did I miss here? And I don't think I missed anything. I said specifically in the video that this system would make me my money back and maybe a little bit of profit. Well, I think it certainly made me my money back. I ended up paying $330. This is an unused Wii, y'all. This is a brand new Wii. Has all the other stuff in it in the bundle and the Wii Sports game and all that stuff. So for $399 plus shipping. Take off fees and you basically make the $330 back. And there were 2 other systems with it as well, both with boxes. One was an NES and just a flawless box that's going to go for really good money. I said it was a double up in the video, and I think that's what it'll be. I will make $300 to $400 profit on it, so pay $330. It's basically a double up. Also want to know your opinion of FedEx lately. Is my experiment working? Have you tried it? I know there's a lot of people who have got burned and they're like, I'm never doing it again. So I'm curious to see any of the upcharges. Anybody seeing those from FedEx that are ridiculous? You see them every once in a while from services, but FedEx and UPS has done it too, y'all. This is a brass giraffe. Who bought this? This is a viewer sale. I think we had like 4 viewer sales today. Darlene, along with a Goofy. This one sold for $14.95 plus shipping. I think Goofy is up here. I don't know if I can get it out with one hand without knocking stuff over. But there it is right there, that Goofy Christmas from Jimmy. That sold for $14.95 plus shipping. So we'll combine the shipping. Darlene, we appreciate you very much. It's headed your way. All right, let's do one more item and then we'll get into the one that's going to get everybody riled up and maybe hate me. I don't know. I'm going to try to stay out of the fray and just kind of discuss the issues and kind of get your feedback. Tupperware, big one. This is the big pickle keeper. I usually sell these for a little bit more, but I've sold it on Dave's Marketplace. And it's sold to Thrift Trip and Mimi. I think I got like 8 something for it. I can't really remember. But that's over on District. And that's the second thing I've listed over there. They've both sold and they've both been pickle keepers. Thank you, Mimi. And that was, of course, plus shipping. So, listen, I don't want to get into the fray. This is a politically charged issue, right? There'll be Republicans on this side that say this, Democrats on this side that say this, and then there'll be some on each side that disagree. And a lot of us are resellers. So this is a microcosm because, you know, the idea of privatizing the post office. There's 2 different ways you can look at it. You could look at it from the standpoint of the taxpayer. You could look at it from the standpoint of the reseller, or both, and there's people get charged. So I just would ask that maybe we keep the rhetoric down a little bit and just look at it and think, you know, how would this affect resellers? I'm of the opinion that I think there'd be negatives and positives on both sides of the equation. But I'm also of the opinion that I like competition. And in some ways, the competition of the post office, which is in essence subsidized. I mean, let's face it, they lose almost $10 billion this year. That's a lot of money to lose. The idea of the post office actually being privatized someday, I don't know if that's pie in the sky, if it's just rhetoric, hyperbole, or whatever it is. But certainly we all have a vested interest as resellers in trying to figure out ways to keep shipping costs as low as we possibly can. And at this point, it is being subsidized. I find that USPS Ground Advantage has been a huge benefit to my business. The items don't necessarily get there quite as fast, but it's been a big benefit to me. I hope that some of you have found that as well. I don't know if there's some middle ground that these politicians and all these people that argue about could come to, because the post office has some serious disadvantages and has some serious advantages. You know, they have a monopoly on first-class mail. They talk about as a downside that they have to deliver to every home. Well, they don't have to deliver to every home, but you get the point. They're doing it 6 days a week, no matter if it's one item or whatever it is. And, you know, FedEx and UPS, although this Christmas season, boy, they were here every single day for us, but I don't know, maybe it's different for you. And of course, the whole Amazon thing and who gets a deal and who doesn't get a deal. The largest part of that, from what I've learned here, and I've known this for years, is the pension part of it, paying the government employees after the fact. Now, I used to be a government employee, and I know that there are some negative effects to that part of it. I saw teachers now as a state and local as opposed to federal. But I saw teachers that knew they couldn't get fired, and they were terrible teachers, and they were just they weren't making a ton of money, but they weren't doing any work. They weren't being productive. There was no accountability. So there's that kind of an argument, against having the post office be the way it's been for 250 years. There's all kinds of arguments you can make on both sides of the equation. But they also have advantages in keeping costs down. They're subsidized in essence by the taxpayer. And how long can that go on is the question. Could they make reforms to make it more efficient? Could they do things to at least, I don't know, maybe we need to make that decision as a country. Do we want to subsidize mail delivery? Maybe we do. That would probably be in the best interest if we fully subsidized it for folks. It certainly would be for us. I don't know that that's necessarily fair to everybody else who's paying taxes, but these are the kind of things that they're talking about. I think maybe there might be a few things that most of us can agree on. You can't ever get everybody to agree. One of those is those pensions that were promised would certainly need to be fulfilled. And I think that, even if you don't like something, if the government promises something to somebody, we probably should do the best we can to fulfill it. And let's see, Sure Shot 80. This is not even in great condition here, but it's not bad, I guess. Structure is good. $30.95 plus shipping. So even if there are reforms, and that's likely look, the likelihood, I don't know, I could be wrong. Likelihood of there being no United States Post Office, to me, it just seems odd. I don't think that that's really going to happen, but maybe that's just a threat to get some major reforms done so it's not bleeding money. It was $6.5 billion 2 years ago, $9.5 billion this year. How, or do we just keep doing that and subsidizing it and things stay relatively the same? And there's people on both sides of the aisle, the guy who was in charge, people on the left hated him, and then people on the right hated him, and now there's a mix of people that hate him. There's all kinds, I don't know. I think the issues are much bigger than one person. I could be wrong, but I think another thing we could agree on is a lot of the reasons originally 250 years ago for the Congress having the ability to start a postal service and whatever, a lot of those things aren't really necessary anymore. But from a reseller standpoint, I certainly do like the idea of having more competition and innovation. And hopefully that will keep, it's the likelihood of driving down prices of shipping. That stuff just doesn't happen very often. I suppose it's possible. I hope for it, but just controlling it and giving resellers, not just resellers, but all kinds of, so much business is done online. You'd think that all these companies, including the post office, was making a killing on all this stuff because everything's getting delivered today. I must be missing something. I think as resellers and as citizens, for that matter, we should demand, I don't know, maybe that's a little harsh, but certainly expect, consistency and efficiency, not just from the postal service, but from anybody we do business with as consumers. That's why it was so disturbing to me. So many complaints with FedEx, and I had difficulty with them. When you send something out for $18 and it comes back with a $60 charge or something, that's ridiculous and is bad business. I will give the post office some serious props for this. All my years doing this, I don't think I've ever received a credit from UPS or FedEx, and I have from the post office. I see upcharges and stuff and down charges from time to time, but it's usually in the cents or in the dollars. It's never in the $30 or $50 price range. So gotta give them props for that. Here is a Gertie necklace. These sell for $5.99 plus shipping. Here's another thing I just thought of we might be able to agree on. How about you Canucks up there? It's got to be worse for you than it is for us. That's what I hear all the time. So, we argue about little things like this, and you guys have some serious problems up there. Let us know some of those. I know some of them, but let us know some of them down in the comments. So maybe we'll stop being crybabies down here. I don't know, including myself. I'm looking for this one, I think. It's a Marvin the Martian keychain. This one might have been a viewer sale as well. Yeah, looks like it is. And these are going for $7.66. And even you Aussies down under down there, how much would this cost me to ship in Australia? How much would this cost me to ship in Canada? I'm curious. Tell me in the comments below. I thought about moving all these over to Dibdit because a lot of people who buy on the live shows, they could get one of these free shipping thrown in, of painting and that stuff. But I decided not to because there's so many folks who still buy them on here. Dibby, by the way, is rolling. Hey, we're going to give away a brand new Nintendo Switch. And I might, if I have the date, I'm going to put it right here, somewhere right here. But I've been playing this a while, didn't get it done before Christmas. So I said, oh, we'll scratch it. We'll do it in the new year, give away a brand new one over there. And I'll give you the date down below. If I have it, if I don't, I'll tell you in the next video. Here's the message. Sandy, love watching your videos, especially with your pop. Well, thank you. He appreciates that. That's on the Commonwealth Picker channel. He drives me around out there. He's awful good to us. Hope you and your entire family have a great holiday. Keep it up. So this was filmed right before Christmas. Uh-oh, I hear the dogs coming. Oh, I couldn't shut the door in time. Y'all are quick. Next video, by the way, we'll be back on track just a day or two after we film it. This one right here, North Carolina, Nike jersey. It's a youth size, sold for $19.95. This is Jordan's jersey, plus shipping. I think of all the videos I've ever done, I'm least certain about how people will react in the comments below and what your opinion is on all this stuff. I am really curious. I think most resellers probably, if I had to guess, are going to react in a way that is best for their business, almost regardless of their political affiliation or any of that stuff. And that's to be understood. I mean, we're all trying to make a living here. But I think these are interesting questions. I will say this. I don't think no matter what happens, there'll be any major changes to reselling. Look, this stuff's not going away. It's just not going away. Look at the map. I went to the post office the other day. I could not believe my little post office here. Thank goodness I only had a few packages. Went and put them on the little countertop over there. But there was like 11 people in line, and they're all just waiting. They were very nice people, by the way, talking and laughing. I'm like, whew, I don't know if I'd like being in that line. But I don't think, no matter what happens, and nothing's going to happen overnight, and there might just be some reforms, you know, I don't really know. But I don't think it's going to affect us long term. I'm very happy that FedEx is really competitive right now. UPS is competitive somewhat. It depends on where you're at and what you use. And I'm very excited about USPS ground service. Has really been a game changer for me. Even though I don't use those priority boxes anymore, I got to pay for them. Hey, I get to thank some people. Darcy, I'm going to thank you. You grabbed one of our 50/50 charity auctions to benefit. We've got them going out. This one, I think, is Samaritan's Purse. It's this mug that we don't sell anymore on Commonwealth Picker. We're down to, boy, we might be down to like 3. Yep, that's it. 3 more of those is all we have left. I don't sell them anywhere. I just do fundraisers with them. We've got this guy headed out of here with it. And we've got more going out today. You'll see them later in the video going to, I think let's see, one's going to St. Jude. We've got more going to Ronald McDonald House as well. Oops, almost forgot. Sorry, I don't want to make you dizzy. This guy here, and I think that might be all of it headed out. So 50-some dollars. I don't even know what it was. $53 headed to a great cause. So thank you to Darcy. Y'all, I can't believe I'm showing you this right now, but we've got a giant mess. We've been doing house cleanouts and storage units and buyouts from friends and all kinds of stuff. This, I hope this is the right one. I'm too short to see. It's a little bone china teacup, and it is not the right one. Maybe it's this one. No, it's not that one either. All right, I found the teacup. Took me a minute. I looked over here 3 times, didn't see it. And I'm like, oh, that's got to be it right there. This is a pretty cool little teacup. I've never bought them before, but the price was right, so I figured I'd get an education. Some can be amazing. This is Royal Grafton bone china made in England. Sold for $20 plus shipping. I know you don't want to hear any more about drones, but I just thought about it on my walk back from the shed. I pulled these earlier. Boy, I mean, Amazon, I don't know. What's the world going to look like 10 years from now? Are they going to have drones dropping stuff off at people's houses? What's going to... I'm just curious. Things will change. They always do. This is Smith Workwear, brand new, and this sold for $24.95 plus shipping. Boy, I'll tell you what, workwear is something that I got into probably 10 years after I started selling, and I wish I'd have got into it sooner because I find a bunch around here. You know, labor costs weren't what they were 10 years ago, obviously. You know, fuel costs, energy costs aren't down. So, you know, a certain amount of innovation. This is a Chrissy doll. I don't do good with. Looks like she's got some in her hair. A spider or something. I do my best to keep bugs out of here, y'all. I take care of it every day, but sometimes, you know, that's what that is. A little spider. Throw that away. I don't know. It's, you know, if still those postal employees, and there's a few out there listening right now, you know, you work hard and you don't get paid quite as much. Sometimes that government benefit and that pension is all that keeps you there. So if you take that away with some kind of partial reform, privatization of certain parts of the business. I don't know. I don't know what the answers are. Innovation and stuff. But those costs of doing business, this is weird. I need to at least finish this one right here. $15.37 plus shipping on this one. It sold 30% off. And if you work for the post office, it's hard I see signs up all the time. Now hiring, now hiring, now hiring. So that tells me that people have better options, whether that's to not work or whether that's to work for a different company in the private industry. There's different things, and those pensions are a big part of doing business. But there are other things as well that have really increased that for some folks. So it's an interesting debate. Let me know what you think of it down below. I also know there's a lot of veterans out there working for the post office. It's not like I think those jobs would disappear. It's just, it'd be different. And it'd be just a strange world without that institution that's been, I think still the post office has a higher approval rating than just about any other institution, certainly more than our representatives in different government agencies have. Maybe it's because you come in contact with those folks that work there. There are 2 ladies there that just work. I shouldn't say this because my wife would say you shouldn't talk about the things you do out there. But I was at a convenience store the other day and I saw the lady who works in there, and I paid for her stuff, and she's been so nice to us and my dad when he goes down there. And so you don't have to do it. I'm like, well, I can't do it at the post office. I might as well do it here. She's just super sweet. So if you're out there listening, thank you for all you do for us. These 3 sold to 3 different people. I don't know if they're viewers or not. I'm going to check. $14.95 plus shipping for the Christmas Inaman ornament. And these, I don't make these, y'all. These were made for whatever reason. But we have a bunch. And we do tie a charity component to those as well. It's not a 50-50 auction, though. So I think we do $1 just like everything out of the Commonwealth picker. I'm still trying to get my daughter and wife in here to announce how much that you guys have donated to all these projects that they handle for me. So Vaughn, I've been watching the Flipper channel. I think this one's Ron McDonald House for that, $1. So I've been watching the Flipper channel for years, or 10%. I'm sorry, I'm all over the place. Thank you for all you do to educate the reseller community. I'll probably have less watchers after this video, even though I didn't give an opinion. They'll be fighting in the comments. I try not to ignore topics that are important to resellers, and this is one of them. And thank you for all you do to educate the reselling community. Happy holidays to you and yours, Pupster Picker. I like that name. Thank you, Vaughn. You know what? I'm going to knock out the other 2. Erica didn't leave a message. I'm just going to assume you watched the channel. So thank you, Erica. And Melanie for the other one. Melanie and Paul's Melly's Attic. All right, got it. Been watching your videos for a few years now. My husband and I really enjoy your content. He has managed to retire from the IT world and run our eBay full time. Well, congratulations, happy retirement, along with us opening up a brick and mortar thrift shop. May you have a wonderful holiday and fruitful 2025, Melanie and Paul. So thank you, I appreciate that. Thank you for your donation, even if you didn't know you made it. And I remember sitting down at the reseller rally with somebody who laid into me. You guys were awesome, by the way. Their son works for the Postal Service, and he hated me because I was being critical of the way that just 2 employees were really treating me, my dad, and stuff. And I'm like, this is crazy. At one point, they're like, we're not going to take it anymore. I'm like, yeah, you kind of got to. I mean, everything's done, everything's paid for, here it is, and whatever. They wanted the scan sheets and everything, and I'm fine with doing that. But at the time, I was selling from 4 different platforms. There'd be 4 different scan sheets, but I couldn't even do that. I'd have to separate because 2 of the platforms didn't provide a way to get scan sheets. It was a mess. It's a pain in the butt. But those folks have also retired, and I wish them very well. And at any rate, I know there's a lot of pickers out there who are postal employees as well. And so let me know what you think. What are your thoughts about it down below? Sold a USS Carl Vincent hat, and somebody asked me in a picker video, don't you ever pick those up? I'm like, yeah, I pick them up. Sometimes they're slow sellers, though. It's going to be in this bin. My answer to folks who ask those questions are, hey, sometimes you just got to still find the right hat. And it's got to be in good condition. Vintage is preferable. This is a vintage New Era, made in the USA, which is really good if you're doing veteran stuff, of course. Thank you to all the veterans out there. And this one sold for $27.95. Plus shipping. Sometimes it's really easy. I used to talk to my students who were, on the right, on the left, in the middle, didn't know what they were, libertarian, Green Party, whatever they were. Speaking of libertarians, I'm sure there's a plenty of those leaving their comments down below. I tend to fall on some of those arguments on the libertarian side, but I don't know. I'm a little bit more pragmatic than most, I think, when it comes to that. But I do think, you know, look, we are going to make up our own opinions, and a lot of us have made our opinions many, many moons ago and don't like to rethink things and just fall on political sides. I think we're in an interesting world where right and left are a little blurred, which might be good for us. I don't know. Ariat, and I'm sure we'll lose subs on this for saying anything and everything, but Ariat belt. That one sold. Has no belt buckle, by the way. Sold for $15.95 plus shipping. All right, we got the whole family here. Blue Ridge Mama's here. Reagan's here. Turner's here. We got some gifts from Calvin and Emily. Just wanted to say thank you. And the dogs are here because Blue Ridge Mama's here. I've been shipping for an hour or so.
You're so full. He did pick up Reagan.
I did. All right. What do you got?
Jason got a number 3 Animal Man, and Chance got a CWP bag.
All right. Well, very good. Thank you.
Gifts.
And
Feeling it.
you got to say your thing. Well, don't say bye.
Don't forget to get your sticker at CommonwealthPicker.com.
All right. You want to open? Everybody find their gift.
Don't they
Blue
know
Ridge
that
Mama,
by now?
find your gift.
I
Calvin,
just want you to know I was in
this
here
one's
shipping the whole
mine.
time and I didn't open it.
I bet you wanted to.
Probably.
All right. I got, oh, sweet, a Rams mug. Cool. Look at that, Turner.
I was one that you can put your...
That's like
you can
Jokes,
drink
Puka
out of it,
Nicole.
but
Oh,
okay.
Turner got some jokes.
Thank
Very good. Put it on the
Reagan's
next
tired
episode.
of finding new jokes.
Oh my
I'm gonna tell a
goodness.
joke right now.
Cried.
Sal.
That's so sweet.
Rest in peace. Y'all really know
you.
what to get, don't
I'm
you?
looking.
It's so cute. He looks like a little pug.
I know. That's
If you don't
so
know,
precious.
Reagan lost her Sal
Yeah.
quite a while ago. So thank
I'll
you.
put
That
this
was very
next to
kind
him.
of you. What'd you get?
I'm trying.
Turner's looking at his jokes.
Thank you so much.
Reagan's happy she doesn't have to. But I think you can put like a can in your cup too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Isn't that cool?
Oh, Turner
He's
has something
cute,
kind of like
too.
that.
Cool. I like it. Big sip, 16-ounce mug.
I got an old,
Ooh, look at that. That's an
old
owl.
world Christmas
Oh,
ornament.
OWC.
Look at that. I love my
like it.
vintage birds.
Very cool.
He'll go on my tree downstairs.
One more episode with the with
Thank
ornaments
you,
on the
Calvin
tree.
and Emily.
Thank
That's
you.
so sweet.
They've been watching a
All right,
long
I'm gonna tell a
time.
joke
Hope y'all
right
have a
now.
Merry
All right, tell a joke.
Christmas.
What do you call the story of 3 little pigs?
What do you call a story of 3 little pigs? I don't have any idea.
A pigtail. That's a good one.
That's cute.
Very good. All right,
Thank
y'all.
you guys. Merry
Bye.
Christmas.
I used to do an exit survey with all my students after taking my class for a whole year, and I'd ask them questions. But one of the questions I asked is, where on the political affiliation scheme, we talk about that stuff, where do they think I would lie on that? And I was very proud of the fact that almost all of them got it wrong. Means I was doing my job fairly. Anyway, CWP number 2, number 3, and number 1. We decided to do these instead of doing singles. We'll get back to doing that for a few more every couple of weeks. But we do them with 50-50 so we'd have a good cause. And I think this one was the St. Jude one or Red Cross. I can't remember. I get confused. Y'all know who bought them because you checked it down there. But those 3 sold. And a nice big chunk of money. Looks like $61 headed to one of the charities there. Thank you for all you do. Wish you and your family a Merry Christmas, Douglas. Storage_finds22. Douglas, I appreciate it. If that doesn't get your eBay store moving, nothing will. Used to challenge my students at the end of the year. I used to say, hey, look, other people's opinions are going to inform your opinion, but it should be your opinion based on the input of others who have experience, based on your own experience, and based on your own education and what you're feeding yourself. Be very, very, very careful of just following everybody else's path. And I do that in reselling. You see me, I do stuff that other people just don't do. And I think sometimes, whether it's in education or whatever, you know, you follow that different path. And sometimes that's what makes you different. If everybody zigs and you zag, sometimes you find success. Sometimes you find utter failure. But at least it's yours and you can own it. All right, I think I had 2 of these. They're Denver Broncos, Little Caesars, John Elway posters. And I almost didn't pick them up. But because there was 2, I did. One, you know, because shipping posters is a pain sometimes. One wasn't going to be worth it. 2 was at $18.99 plus shipping. I've got a Divot auction on behind me, and there's some cool items. I want to grab a couple. There's some money in them. But I have to take a break because I forgot right here. My go-to tape, 4-pack. There's only 3 here, but 4-pack. I use the 3-inch tape. I absolutely love it. Life-changing. But you can get 4 rolls of the 2-inch tape, my go-to tape, American Bubble Boy. I'm going to announce a winner here. I left it over here. It's Genie C65. Genie C65. Send me an email, commonwealthpicker@gmail.com. If you want to try their tape, go check it out. There's always a link below. Use code Commonwealth to get 5% off. I think reselling in general, many of you who listen to these shows, these talking heads and all the folks on YouTube, you've already followed your own path. That's why you're here. Not that you've disengaged with the world, but there's something you can control that's yours, that you know, a lot of people have bosses out there they disagree with, and boy, I'm ranting today. And they just want something of their own where they get to make the decisions. The success and failure of their business lies on themselves, and that's so freeing. And it has been to me. So basically, I mean, I obviously love free markets and being able to be free in a free world, and, you know, I'll take the good with the bad. This right here is a Sears. I got to give some credit to Death Pile Picker, who is now on, I cannot promote the show because Mike's on it, but he is on Reseller Leftovers podcast. He's highly inappropriate, but it is somewhat entertaining with Joe and Jimmy over there. He found one of these, and then I found another at a sale, the 127 sale. I'm like, that looks cool. Main Street Card Corner from Sears. And it took a little while to sell, but it did sell for $40, I think. Yeah, $39.95 plus shipping. When I was digging for the workwear pants, I also pulled out the other pair of polo pants that sold. These sold, I think, for the same price, $24.95 plus shipping. I've heard a few people lately say that delisting something and relisting it or selling similar doesn't work. And I'm like, it works for me quite a bit. And I don't even do it that often. I had all these, used to sell them. I haven't sold one in like a year. These Disney Creative Memory Packs. And so I redid the listing, changed the price a little bit, sold one almost immediately, $21.95 plus shipping.
What does it look like?
Wait, Harvey?
Yes.
Okay.
All right, go ahead and give us a thank you for a couple people who bought something out of CommonwealthPicker.com.
Harvey got a black light, and Mike Camparelli got a trashed cash shirt.
Mike Camparelli. Why are you buying?
Thank you for my painting that you let me have.
It's got a new YouTube. Oh, that's right. That's right. Thank you. And y'all check out Mike's new channel, Mike Metco Meetups.
When are we going to have a meetup?
I don't know, whenever he has one.
I'm going to be at the first Mike Metco.
Hey, would you guys
meetup.
give an update or give a thank you to the folks and tell them how much we raised for that family and what it is eventually going to go to? Do you remember?
2,000?
2,000. We've
Yes.
raised over $4,000 for different charities because of the folks right here.
Yep.
So thank y'all.
Awesome.
And actually, Blue Ridge Mom's going to give you a little update because that family is in turn donating. They lost their father, y'all.
Yep.
And they are doing what?
The day after he passed, the day after
the
that
fundraiser.
auction. But he was an Army vet,
Mm-hmm.
4 years, Army brat. And during his illness, he worked with a group that supports veterans coming back that are suffering from PTSD. And so it is like a little community farm place. You can read about it. You can post a link if you want to. Valor Farm. And so they work with these vets in this community type setting so that they can go back into their own communities and be productive members of society. So they each get to stay in a little tiny house for 90 days, something like that. So they want to donate an entire tiny house.
$80,000.
$80,000 so far. Through our fundraiser and some other people donating, they're at a little over $14,000.
Wow.
She wanted to get the $80,000 by Christmas, but
Wow.
it's a big thing. But in Todd's honor.
Yep.
That's
Well, thank you to everybody who's done that.
You guys
Thank
are
you.
so generous.
And I shipped all this, and they got to ship all this. And Reagan's got stuff out of CommonwealthPicker.com. It's got to go. So thank y'all very, very much. And Happy New Year.
Bye.
Happy
Don't
New
forget
Year.
your stickers at CommonwealthPicker.com.
I just want to reiterate something. Well, first, I want to say thank you to everybody. This is right before Christmas for me, so I'm just going to say a late Christmas message. Thank you for everything you do for us, putting up with me when you disagree with me. And, you know, in reality, you'll probably see videos and articles. I read through a ton of articles to talk about this, and they were all so ridiculously slanted in both directions that nobody wanted. Well, one of them I thought was fairly fair. I think it was on Forbes. And you could see that they took time to kind of present both sides. The reality of it, if nothing changes, you're not going to see much difference. And where there's a will, there's a way. If everything changed with it, there's still going to be a will and there's still going to be a way for folks. So I don't know. I sometimes use these topics and blow them up in the thumbnails and because I think they're interesting and I love to talk about this stuff. But in reality, reselling is going nowhere no matter what happens with the post office. I can handle having 4 or 5 packages every Q4 that get screwed up, and some get finalized and I get the money, some don't. It's part of doing the business, but I think they're interesting topics. Chime in below with your commentary. Hopefully won't have to delete too many unless they attack me too much, but don't attack each other either. I don't think we need to do that. But hey, I appreciate y'all stopping by as always. Happy New Year to you, and I hope your 2025 is an excellent year for you reselling and otherwise. I can't wait to see you next time.
No. That was 6 months ago.
She hasn't grown since last year?
Still 6 months. Mom, this was still 6 months ago.
Reagan is vertically challenged.
I thought that was Christmas Eve last year. Get over here. You really haven't grown much at all.
We haven't showed y'all that in a while. Who's here, y'all? Look who's here. Hi.
That's so sad.
Y'all
You
stop.
grown like I haven't.